Thank you for being here this morning at the Michael E. Rogers Senior Site. Before we get started, I would love to invite up Community and Library Services Commissioner Reverend James Pike to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation. Reverend Pike.
We'd invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are current or prior service, you're invited to salute. For the rest of us, hand over the heart, and the flag is here on the lawn. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Almighty God, we give you thanks for our Community Services Department. We give you thanks for our Senior Center, for their activity and their energy, for the legacy that we're celebrating today, and for the new chapters that begin with this park space. May you bless our city that we might continue to create places to gather, to be connected to one another, to play and to learn. And so we ask for your blessing upon this day. We give you thanks for the memories that we're celebrating, and we look forward to all that is to come. In your name, amen.
Thanks, Reverend Pike. I would like to begin by taking a few minutes to acknowledge some of the special guests that we have with us today. We are expecting Congresswoman Michelle Steele. Is she here yet? Oh, welcome. All right, there she is. Well done, Michelle. Congresswoman, please have a seat. Oh, you are? Okay. Now, I'm impressed. That was pretty good. Right on call. We also have Assembly Member Janet Nguyen. Thank you. We are expecting City Council members Kim Carr, Natalie Mosier. Hi, Natalie. Good morning. And Eric Peterson. Community and Library Services Commission, Chair Janice Mantini, Laura Costello. I'm sorry, I kind of talked over your applause. Laura Costello, and Dr. Richard Harrison, Elaine Parker, Reverend James Pike, and on our Planning Commission we have Alan Ray, Historic Resources Board Chair Kathy Shea, and Mr. Omri Hansen. Please also join me in welcoming our key city staff and project team members joining us this morning. Interim City Manager Sean Joyce, Assistant City Manager Travis Hopkins, Chief of Police Eric Parra, our Fire Chief, Scott Haberly, Community and Library Services Director Chris Slama. Good thing you're here, Chris. Very good. Yeah. Amir Nove, President of our Legion Construction. Eric Borberly, Project Manager for Legion Construction. Zachary Meeting, RJM Design Group. And Andy Steen, RJM Design Group. Again, I would like to welcome all of you to the Rogers Senior Center site on this beautiful day as we remember the positive impact of the Rogers Center, provided the community and celebrate our groundbreaking of the Huntington Beach's newest park. At this time, I would like to invite up Chair Kathy Shea, Historic Resources Board, and the City of Huntington Beach's archivist, I guess, archivist, I think I got that right, to come up and share some remarks on the history of the space that we are gathering at today. Kathy?
Thank you. Is it safe to get down the stairs without making a disaster? There we go.
There you go.
So, hi everybody. It's wonderful to see so many people interested in the future of our parks, but also in remembering and honoring our past. And indeed, today is a day that we do want to reflect on the history and opportunities that this remarkable building has given us. First, I think it's really important to note that this building is a veteran. It is a veteran of World War II. It saw incredible service, and then later it became a veteran of community service for the next 70 years. Wonderful thing to note. I think it may be interesting, too, to think history comes full circle. One of the last events we held here was the centennial anniversary celebration of our own American Legion Post 133, which is one of the oldest continuously functioning posts in the United States. You will notice that some of you have flowers. I know we missed a few people. We definitely wanted to invite certainly our elected officials, civic leaders, representatives of our boards and commissions, and so forth to have these flowers. And what we intend to do with them is, as we conclude our ceremony today, we want to, as an act of remembrance for the service of this building for so many, many years, to have your flowers. Please leave them on this side of the Senior Center sign. I and our Art Center Director, Kate Hoffman, will collect them. They will be taken inside the building and will be left there for the duration of the building's demolition, our final tribute to this incredible story. I'm going to begin a little bit of the story about this in 1949 when this building came to us. And it was an interesting time because our civic leaders and our community members were very concerned about the effects the Second World War had had on our youth, our high school students. They were doing things like smoking cigarettes and two-piece bathing suits and staying out late at night. And so they conceived this sort of a kernel of an idea that has grown to become our community center model, that if these young people had a place to gather and develop skills under the watchful eye of responsible adults, this would be really meaningful and transformative in our city. So they decided they needed a building to do that, and what they wound up doing was they bought this one. This building is actually T-1099. It is one of 6 classrooms that were on the Santa Ana Army Air Base. Literally tens of thousands of U.S. and Allied troops, men and women, passed through our doors and learned things like code breaking, foreign languages, strategy. Many of those people, of course, went on to be wounded and killed in the service of our country. So they bought this building, cut it up into 3 pieces, and decided to haul it here. At the time, this was a very undeveloped lot. There were no residents around it. It had never been much more than a barren field, and it was surrounded by wells and the detritus of oil production. That made it an asset. Meant that they could have the teenagers here, close enough for them to get to, far enough from any residences, hard to believe now, for them to be a nuisance and cause a lot of noise. So they patched her up, glued her together, painted her, moved in our fledgling Parks and Recreation Department, and welcomed high school students and only high school students to participate. Sock hops, a canteen, games, all kinds of wonderful after-school activities. And it's kind of funny now when we realize what this building became. You can see from the sign what it became, that as other groups clamored to use the site, the first ones booted were this pesky group called the Old Age Pensioners. And they were told, go find someplace for old people. This is only for the young. Over time, of course, it went on to serve all kinds of groups, all kinds of memories, all kinds of people. And in 1975, our aging population really demonstrated that the needs of our seniors had become acute. And they decided to remodel, which basically meant spiff up this building and dedicate it as our senior center, and that they did. It was a wonderful evening. We had the good timers, elderly ladies in silver shoes, and a wonderful rollicking band called Dukes Rhythmiers, and everybody danced the night away. The next 10 years, this was absolutely the home to our senior population, and in 1983, they realized they'd about worn the thing out. So they temporarily relocated to the Lake Park Clubhouse. The building was again renovated and extended. Much of the back auditorium that you can't see from here was added at that time. And at that point, they dedicated it in honor of Michael E. Rogers, a tireless worker for our community, and especially our seniors. And of course, those last decades of its life as a senior center are really, I think, perhaps the most prominent and the most telling in the story of this site. So with that, I'm going to hand off the microphone to Randy Pasqueta, who is our Senior Center Director, who has so many incredible memories and so much knowledge of our senior community and our service. And there's Randy.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. I am Randy Piscata. I am the director of the Senior Center in Central Park. I worked here at RODGERS since 1999. I took over the helm after several other great employees actually built the credibility of the center. One of those is Nora Webb. She's out there. She was the director here for a very long time. And gave it its programming and all those good things. When I came to this, I'm such a nerd. Okay, I'm a history buff, kind of like Kathy. So these are the original keys I got in 1999. So I still keep them with me. There is a whistle with a dyno label, if anyone remembers dyno labels, giving me the code to the alarm. And the whistle, I never knew what was for. It was like, am I waiting for an emergency? I don't know. Anyway, I still have it. And I also have the original program for the dedication of Michael E. Rogers Senior Center in 1984. So first I have to acknowledge all those people that came here, and Kathy mentioned that kind of advocacy in the 1970s, the beginnings of the Gray Panthers, the beginnings of, creating a space for older people, for seniors, was very, very big. And, Michael E. Rogers certainly jumped on that bandwagon and insisted that they build a center specifically, or they remodel the center because it wasn't too exciting. So when they remodeled it in 1983, they created what we now see, which has the large auditorium, which has the classrooms, and they spiffied it up. So if you actually look at pictures from then, it was a really nice building. It was very, clean. It was ample room for the people that were here. There's a saying that we use in the aging field, and we use it at the Senior Center in Central Park, where we say, this isn't your grandmother's senior center, but this was your grandmother's senior center. So, it was comfortable. People felt very welcome. The crowd was older. It was an older crowd. It was people who came for a hot lunch, people who came for, some bingo in the afternoon. And when it first opened, there was a nonprofit group called the Seniors Club that had about 1,800 members. And they used to run the travel program. They used to do luncheons. They used to do annual dinners. They were a pretty effective group. And they kind of closed down after their membership declined. And with the money they had left in their treasury, they bought all the new tables and chairs for this current center. Luckily, the Huntington Beach Council on Aging had been around since the 70s, and they'd worked alongside the staff and the city to create programming, to create lunches, to create dances. And there was a famous New Year's Eve dance that nobody missed. It was people brought out their furs for this dance, okay? They brought out their fancy coats, their bangled dresses, they dressed up, and it was on New Year's Eve, and they danced till midnight. So along the way, certain key members of the community services staff that are still with us worked with us here. One of those is Chris Cole, who's out there, and he created a whole new vibe for seniors back in the early 2000s. So he revamped the dance, made it cool. Other cool community service members, Chris Slama worked here. He was the director, supervisor. Kristen Martinez, who is now manager, also worked here. Great people. And I know people are out there that were here that were part of this center for so many years. Jean Faulkner, she's out here, and I just want to acknowledge her. And Judy Roordance, both of them worked the front desk. Jean worked here for 20 years volunteering, I believe, and then she finally landed a position with community services. So it's the beginning of so many people's careers. And what we learned from working here was the respect that we must give to our elders, the respect and the amazing customer service that we indeed need to give to our elders. And we learned that. We learned that, no, seniors don't like change, but seniors are also very flexible. So they have to be. They've spent years years and years being flexible. So they taught us how to live, they taught us how to age, because you don't get aging lessons. You get a lot of grammar school, you get a lot of how to be a kid, there's a lot of work on, how to be a teenager, how to be an adult, but there's no lessons on aging. And this is where those lessons are taught, So I've always been grateful to my work here. The Huntington Beach Council on Aging was also a vital part of the center, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, because of their dedication to working alongside staff in the city and creating new programming. I'd like to acknowledge Ellen Hope Kearns. She's the president of the Council on Aging right now. And I think our Vice President, Judy Osuna, is somewhere out there too. Yes. So they lead the way now. In 2008, there was a great need for change. Things were really changing. There was a huge recession. We lost all of our free teachers. When I first came here, it was all the classes were free. We had emeritus groups teaching. We had the Santa Ana. That's where I was born. The Huntington Beach Adult School, who were very active here. And so their classes were free. In 2008, all of that changed. So we began to see what we could offer to seniors at a low cost. That's when we also began to explore the idea of a new senior center. And 2011, baby boomers started turning 10. Every day, baby boomers, there was a 10,000 increase in baby boomers since 2011. So we knew that we had to create a bigger center, something that baby boomers would want to come to. And slowly the transition started. And we learned what kind of new programming to offer, but we learned it from the people that were here, what they wanted. And certainly the baby boomers came, and now we have the senior center in Central Park. We've had great partnerships with the business community, and all of it creates community. So age on, people. Learn from your elders, respect your elders. I think I started here when I was in my 40s, now I'm in my 60s, so I became a senior all along the way, which is fine. So I identify. But thank you for supporting Rogers Senior Center for those many, many years, for directing staff funding to the center, for creating increased city funding. It was appreciated, and we're going to say goodbye to this old building. Thank you.
Kind of interesting. Anybody learn some new facts? Yeah, that's really sweet. I was just speaking with Randy earlier, and I actually had taken a class here. Do you still offer that class?
Different ways.
Okay, it was, what was it called?
The Age Wave.
Oh, the Age Wave, okay. Well, my parents were elderly at the time, and I can't tell you how timely it was. I was on my way to go visit them, and my father insisted upon driving, and I really didn't want him to drive. And so you know how it is when your daughter tells your father it just doesn't work. I said, well, I'm not going to go if you drive. So it's sort of silly. But then I realized we have to give our seniors options, right? And it's true in every life, but I'm just saying of seniors especially. As we reflect on the past and how this space has served so many in Huntington Beach, I'm excited to share what the future of this space will be. As we all know, this has been coming for a long time. It is so important for our public spaces to remain vibrant, as so many memories are created every day. And the very successful opening of our 2015 Senior Center in Central Park, the community recognized it was time to evolve the space. I've always been a big supporter of our wonderful park system, and I love we are a community realizing the importance of continuing to improve our existing 78 parks and add even one more open space. We have a beautiful city filled with many recreational opportunities. What a thrill it is to add another location where family and friends can come together and build memories. In 2019, the city and RJM conducted extensive public input process to reimagine this space, and with the goal to meet the evolving needs of our community. Over 100 residents attended the workshop, providing input on likes, dislikes, issues, concerns, desires for the park, facility amenities, and I would like to extend a great appreciation to many of our neighbors and community members who participated enthusiastically in that process. Yes, please. It's so important, isn't it? From that community input, a conceptual design was created that exhibited a balance between many needs and the wants that were expressed. City Council and I approved the design on July 17, 2020. Over the next 12 months, this space has been transformed into the city's newest and 79th public park. The small former senior outreach building will remain and be utilized by our amazing American Legion Post 133. In addition to serving as a reservation facility for the general public, small parking lot will also be developed. I would like to welcome the American Legion up to formally lower the flag in front of Michael E. Rogers Senior Center for the last time. You. Okay, I'll step aside. You betcha. Thank you. As we all know, parks do make life better. They are spaces that can evolve over time as seasons and demographics change. And they also have spaces that can transform in an instant, serving as a flexible space for family gatherings, athletic competitions, quiet sanctuaries for reading and meditation. How will you use this space once it's open next year? At this time, what I'd like to do is invite Congresswoman Michelle Steele and Assemblymember Janet Nguyen. Yes, hi, Congresswoman. How you doing? Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. What you are doing is the right thing, and I'm not going to speak too long because I just flew in from DC last night. We had 20 degrees and now that 80 degrees in California. What a wonderful life that we are having, especially Huntington Beach is the really beautiful, beautiful city, and you are doing the right thing. So I just want to present the congressional certificate here. So congratulations, and then I'll come back next year when it was built. Yeah.
Congresswoman, it's so beautiful. Thank you. This is from the United States Congress, House of Representatives, to the city of Huntington Beach. Assemblywoman. Oh, yeah, thank you.
That is beautiful.
Is it?
Thank you, Mayor. This is so exciting because I will tell you throughout the years that I've been in public service, this doesn't happen. It never happens. You will get maybe temporary parks, you know, on the trail, the railroad track, the utility tracks, and then you have all these wires. But to actually create a full 2.1 acre park for our residents, especially in this area, it's phenomenal. I want to also the previous council who made this happen and their vision, obviously with the vision of And Chris, I'm jealous because you have a cheering squad with you. It's unfair to the rest of us. It must be the best job is to be able to go out and create opportunities, but fun opportunities for the residents. And so, Mayor, on behalf of the State Assembly, thank you for the vision. Thank you for actually making that vision into reality. And life in this area is going to continue. It will continue with the breath and the walking and the life that's going to be moving around in this park. And so you're building this for the future of this area and for Huntington Beach. And so thank you. Given that as a mom, I love parks. I've got a 9-year-old, well, to be 9, on Valentine's Day, and an 11-year-old. So they love the Huntington Beach parks. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and congratulations, and thank you to everybody for being here.
I love getting presents. It's kind of cool about being the mayor, huh? Okay, well, at this time, I would like to welcome up Councilwoman Natalie Mosier, if you would like to have a few things to say. You don't have to. No, what I meant was I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But I guess, what we will do right now is we will have the official groundbreaking here, so we'll do it together.
Sure.
Okay, so there you go. And are there anyone else that out there who wants to say anything? Well, if not, you're going to join us with the groundbreaking, and we're going to make it special and rememberable for a very, very long time. Thank you all for coming this morning and sharing the joy and the graciousness of this center. Thank you.